When we talk food influencers, and especially those who do reviews, very few people actually do it better than this guy, Keith Lee. One of the reasons why bro is both loved and trusted is because he has honest takes. He doesn't filter anything, whether it is good or bad, he's always honest. Part of what has kept bro relevant for the longest time is the honesty.
A Northside restaurant was on the brink of closing.
But then suddenly everything changed after a visit from a hugely popular TikTok food critic and influencer. Business is now off the charts.
This small restaurant was struggling.
If we can reach up here, now this one coming out too.
After less than a year in business, closing for good, a real possibility.
We did not have enough customers.
Then, a few days ago, an unexpected visit.
I got it. Let's try it.
The restaurant at 3933 North Broadway posted a video to TikTok showing Alfio Shaka, Amici's chef and owner, in an empty restaurant. Keith Lee was invited to drop by. A massively popular TikTok food critic, Lee is known for visiting small neighborhood restaurants across the country. Taking the advice of his millions of followers, he stopped by Amici.
I'm gonna show you everything I got, and we're gonna try it.
Lee tried some popular items at the classic Italian spot.
Arancinos are rice balls that derive from Italy, but they put their own spin on it.
In his signature move, he ate the takeout in his car, sampling a variety of arancini.
Hey y'all, he got some. It's just rice that's fried with a really high quality meat.
Lee later went inside to surprise the owner.
How you doing, sir? Hey. That's my wife. Nice to meet you, man.
Another surprise for Alfio Shaka, Lee left $3,000 to pay for anybody who came in to order arancini. They quickly sold out in a few hours. Lee also left a $1,000 tip, and his viral impact on a small business that really needed a boost.
It's amazing what he does, just going and helping struggling family.
And while Lee was in Chicago, he also paid a visit to another spot, Tacotlan, in the Hermosa neighborhood, and he gave their tacos a rating of 9 out of 10.
As you have seen, if the business is good and the service is good, then it means not only survival, but also success for struggling businesses in what has come to be known as the Keith Lee effect. However, if honesty is part of the brand, then it can't be always rainbows and sunshine. The effect doesn't always come with fortunes and success.
Keith Lee just started a revolution against Chipotle. So recently Keith Lee decided to review Chipotle, and his review of the restaurant was pretty bad. According to him, they skimped on the serving sizes, it didn't taste good, and it was really, really cold. Now, Chipotle has been pretty infamous for skimping on their food for a while now, but because of the Keith Lee video, people have decided to actually do something about that. One thing people are suggesting is going to Chipotle, and whenever they start giving you those extremely small serving sizes, people are being told to just walk out before their order is even done. Now, other people are just saying don't go to Chipotle and boycott it altogether, because even though Chipotle is skimping heavily on their serving sizes, they continue to raise their prices, and despite the prices going up, the quality, serving size, and taste of the Chipotle food is all going down. Now, I have not had Chipotle in a while, but last time I got it, they definitely skimped on me. And I ended up having to pay, I think, like $12 for a bowl that was half full and barely had any chicken in it.
Keith Lee is going viral for giving an extremely bad review for the first time. So Keith Lee was in Michigan and decided to try out a small restaurant located inside a liquor store. He got lamb chops, chicken wings, and fried turkey, and the restaurant had a 4.4 star review. He ended up giving a 4 out of 10 for the lamb, a 7 out of 10 for the chicken wings, and when it came time to try the greens, his reaction was insane.
Oh. To be honest with you, that's one of the worst things I've had in a long time. It's extremely pungent, it's strong, it's a taste that don't taste like greens. I have no idea what that is, to be honest with you. I don't mean no harm, but that's a 0 out of 10 if you ask me.
He spat out the food saying he doesn't feel like trying anything else and ended the video there with this message. Many people in the comments went crazy saying they feel bad for the small restaurant. This review is going to end them, especially when Keith Lee barely gives any bad reviews, and this is the first time something like this happens. But yet again, it would be bad if Keith Lee lied saying the food is good and it's not. But what do you think of this?
Since no good deed goes unpunished, he sometimes finds himself in controversy.
Go to the video and listen closely to what he says.
And we thanked everybody for having us. Me and the mama prayed together, and we left a $4,000 tip behind. God is amazing.
I appreciate y'all for having us. I see y'all giving out haircuts and doing braids. So we want to leave $1,000 to the barber so we can cut everybody up for free. We want to leave you $1,000 to fix the hair. We want to Yeah, after 10. Yeah, so please charge my barber $4,000 and y'all give me however y'all feel necessary. I see y'all giving out haircuts to you and
My little brother, yeah.
So we want to leave $1,000 to the barber so he can cut everybody.
Oh, that's my little brother. He went to go pick up my baby brother from school.
We want to leave you $1,000 to cut hair. We want to leave you $2,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah, after 10. Yeah, so please charge my car for $4,000 and y'all switch it and y'all divvy it however y'all feel necessary.
Oh my God. Thank you.
Everybody speak English, right? Everybody heard him say he wanted to give $1,000 to the barber to cut everybody's hair for free.
Like, now I could see if when Keith Lee said, give that barber $1,000 for free haircuts, he should have said, anybody, come on, who want their haircut for free? Come on. Then he would have deserved it. Then that would have made him with me. Because now you're helping me. You're shining on me. This man was not with me.
He comes along, he cuts one person's head for free. Keith Lee sees it on the live because I thought he was giving out free haircuts, so I announced it on the live, which I apologize for. I thought he was giving free haircuts out. He even cut my brother's hair. So I told my brother, you know what? He trying to get some, new customers in Dallas. You looking for a barber? Sit down and let him cut your hair. It's free. Just try him out. My brother did so. Afterwards, the barber was asking for money. I'm like, I thought it was free. He's like, no, I need my $30. So now I'm irritated. I'm just like, whatever. I got 20 I can send you. So I sent him the $20. My brother sent him the other 10. My brother also pays him for my nephew's haircut as well.
I was never under the impression that haircuts was free. Again, my family was watching the lives. We knew that he was cutting hair for $40.
She called me and she was just like, well, I didn't invite your brother to come out there and cut hair. I didn't invite you. My son invited you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give $1,000 to my son and he'll give y'all whatever it is he see fit out of there. Hold on, ma'am. Hold on. Now, I did you a solid by saying I get money. When I opened my eyes this morning, I had a deposit for $1,500. You get what I'm saying? And I made money since. So I told you to keep my money, but I was more so pressed about the issue of my brother. Keith Lee don't know my brother. My brother don't know Keith Lee. My brother don't know any of y'all out here. But when you gave him the green light to post his flyers, after he cut both of your sons' head, yes, they paid. He wasn't cutting nobody's hair for free. Who the fuck put that out there? If you cutting hair for free, why are you posting flyers with prices? You get what I'm saying? There's a girl on Facebook, hold on, whom I'm assuming is her oldest son's wife, fiance, whoever she is. This is all lies, just like the free cuts were. Because people had to pay. Of course they had to pay. The 2 people hair that he cut was both of the owner's sons. So why the fuck would he be giving the owner's sons, whose mom is getting visited by Keith Lee, free cuts? You get what I'm saying? Because it was never advertised. But then I later found out my friend had said he assumed that he was giving free cuts. No, he pulled up to the area because he saw it as an opportunity because we couldn't make it to Jonathan's shop to meet him in time. No one. Y'all didn't hear it on my face. Y'all didn't see it on my platform. Y'all didn't hear it out my brother's mouth say, I'm giving free cuts, pull up to the spot. Do you know how many people would have pulled up? Now, mind you, on top of him tipping $4,000, this man left an extra $886 to feed everybody else that was coming, right? Right. But this is where she went wrong. I'm in the truck. Mind you, I'm a worker. This is your business, so I'm doing what you say. She tell me after this person, which is a third person, that you got to start charging again. Now, it's one thing when he say I'm leaving this for free and for somebody to come and order like one of everything on the menu and try to get both desserts and drinks and shit. Like, yeah, you can put a limit on that. But if this man left you almost $1,000, why the fuck did you stop handing free food out after the third person? Make it make sense. So, all right, everything was cool. It was time to close down. You know, my friend done ran to the store. He helping his mama. He coming out his pocket with his own money. And I looked at her and I was like, so Keith Lee literally just spent $5,200 with you. She was like, girl, I know. I'm so excited. Like, before I got on here, I was broke. And before y'all come for me talking about don't be releasing no personal information, it got personal when you played with my baby brother.
I don't think I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, I want Keith Lee to tell me, after him knowing the truth now, if that man tell me to give them the money, I'll give it to him.
After I said out loud in detail what we deemed the money to be used towards, I also said y'all can divvy it out how y'all feel necessary. Meaning, after the money hits, because it's a POS system, it don't hit the same day. Y'all can send it out through Apple Pay, through Zelle, through Cash App, through check, through cash. However y'all feel necessary to spread it amongst the team. I thought and I still think that that's a very clear statement. But it's being misconstrued, in my opinion, intentionally misconstrued, that I said and the mom and the son can say who get the money and who don't get the money.
So Keith Lee did tell her to distribute the money how she felt necessary.
I never said that. Regardless of what was going on behind the scenes, I felt on my heart to do what we did. So for the mom to go on the back end and disregard where my heart was at and what I felt like God was telling me to do in that moment and distribute the money how she felt necessary is 100% wrong in my opinion. I see the memes and I see the jokes, but I am not in the business of shutting businesses down. Her actions did not sit right with y'all and her customer base. That resulted in the situation that she in today. We just ate the food and left a tip. Pray in advance that everybody in the situation stays safe. That's my biggest concern.
Keith Lee, I want to say thank you. I'm officially off this conversation. I'm not deleting any videos. I'm not taking back anything that I said. This friendship is officially over. Sweetly seasoned, I wish you nothing but the best. I hope that your fan base grows, but just at your own pace, off your own back. Appreciate you, Keith Lee. I enjoyed your family. Y'all be safe. I'm out.
Because I did nothing to her. I don't deserve to lose a friend over trying to mediate a situation that happened over a misunderstanding. So if she doesn't want to delete the videos, take the money, mend our friendship, then it is what it is.
I'm asking my followers to please tag her and tell her Sweetly Season is asking her to please come pick up their money. Okay?
So y'all know my mom is the owner of Sweetly Season Food Truck, and since Keith Lee came and visited, her entire world has been changed. She gets non-stop harassment, phone calls, day and night, death threats, all that stuff. But this latest stunt resulted in her attempting to take her own life last night. So long story short, she sends an email to Keith Lee, and she kind of lets him know what happened since his visit. 2 days later, she gets a message saying, you know, this is on behalf of Keith Lee and his family. We want to come out and pay your food truck a visit. Sorry about what happened last time, and let's, you know, bring all the parties together and come up with another resolution. My mom was on board. She's willing to do anything to stop, you know, all of the harassment and stuff. I'm like, okay, great. You know, I'll do whatever you need me to do. Just let me know. So she was in contact with, you know, Keith Lee the entire time, planning everything. The only thing that he asked her to pay for was a barber. He was like, if you pay the deposit for the barber, it's only $300. You know, I'll in return pay for food for 3 hours free for everybody in the community. So she's like, cool. So yesterday was the day of the grand opening, and you know, she gave away free food for 3 hours, and you know, we're looking up after, you know, every a couple hours go by, we're like, hey, the barber hasn't shown up, or you know, I'm like, what time did Keith Lee say he was getting here? She was like, well, he said him and his team will get here around 2:45. I'm like, well, it's 3:45. I'm like, why is he late? She's like, I don't know. She's trying to contact him. He's like, you know, the plane just landed an hour ago. Everybody, we're all together. We'll be there. So we're still giving out free food and, you know, just waiting. Y'all, Keith Lee never showed up. The barber never showed up. It was all a scam. She lost thousands of dollars. She had to pay for the lot where she's at. She lost all the food. She gave away all the money she spent on all the food that has to probably get thrown out. The money she spent finding a different place in Dallas, because mind you, her lease was up. She was in the middle of moving across the country. So she literally changed her whole life just for this event. So I get why she was so distraught, but she seemed fine last night when we left. She didn't seem like she was too sad. She seemed more bummed out, like, it's like, man. And I went home. I should have stayed. I went home, I was tired. I wake up to this call. I'm not ready to lose my mom. I just lost my grandparents, I lost my little brother, I lost my dad. I don't got a lot of people left. I cannot lose my mom. I don't ask for nothing. I don't battle on here because I don't even like my fans buying nothing. I don't want no money from nobody. I want y'all to leave my mom. Y'all can bother me, y'all can harass me. Come to my comment section, do it. Just leave my mom alone. She literally cannot take no more. She can't. Leave my mother alone, please.
Everybody's talking about how Keith Lee blessed Sweetly Seasoned and she fumbled the Keith Lee effect. And just like with the Real Milk and Honey situation, I wanted to give my own take on how this is really a systemic problem, because I'm not hearing anybody talking about that. Sweetly Seasoned is showing us in real time what a scarcity mentality looks like. She's holding on so tightly to a few $1,000s that she has really ruined her brand forever. And the wild thing is, if she knew this was wrong, she would just confess and give up the money after she got caught. But I don't think she's arguing back to try to save face. I don't believe this woman genuinely understands that what she did was wrong. Because she's been called out multiple times across social media, her page is getting shut down and whatnot. And when she made her response, the first thing she did was point to what all the people who Keith Lee told her to give money to, the barber, the young lady in the picture, the coworkers, this, that, and the other, didn't deserve the money. Obviously, she's 100% completely wrong, but a lot of what she was saying reminded me of how deep many of us in the Black community are in hustle culture and how many toxic ideas we have imbibed and been fed around money. Money's hard to earn. Money doesn't grow on trees. You have to work hard for money. And this is what happens when you believe that stuff deep down. You actualize it in your own life. And even if you have the blessing staring you in the face, those toxic beliefs will cause you to self-sabotage. She already had the blessing. People were already coming. The Keith Lee effect was already in effect. If she had been able to let that stuff go, she would have realized, I'm going to make way more in the long run. And instead, she has literally destroyed any hope she has of being successful in the future by holding on to a few $1,000s. And it's one of those things I really don't think we as a people deal with all that readily. How many comedians have made their entire brand off of, oh my God, we were so poor growing up. All we had was jam sandwiches. Take some bread and jam it in your mouth. We had sometimes clothes. Sometimes I wore them. Sometimes my brother wore them. Sometimes my cousin wore them. And we think it's funny, but you're not really healing with humor. What you are continuing to reify in your life is that money is hard to come by. Money is a scarce resource. I have to hoard money. And a lot of us struggle with that stuff. I'll tell you something right now. Our people will get way more triggered talking about money than about anything else on this earth. We get more triggered talking about money than sex, money than abortion, money than politics, money than race. You want to trigger a Black person? Talk about money. And that's because so many people have not healed their childhood wounds and their beliefs remain the same. And this is actually why so many men in the NBA and NFL, they're literal millionaires, but they will squander all the money or they'll go to the other extreme and live like they don't have any money. You have millions, but you don't have a house to live in. You don't have anything steady in your life because you have always been raised in a way that was transient. So even when you have money coming in, you don't believe it's forever. You don't believe it's steady. You think, the next day I'll be hustling. This is why people who are in the NBA and NFL, people who have made lucrative careers, in music or real estate or whatever, will still get caught up in nonsense. Like T.I., when he was running the pews that time, my mom told me it had nothing to do with the money. You just can't get outside of that mentality that you have to constantly be in something, that you have to be hustling. And it sounds ridiculous that people fumble $1 million bag over a few hundred or a few thousand, but we can see it happening here in real time. Here at the beginning of February, I encourage everybody to get down to the root of their money issues. If you need to read, you can heal your life. If you need to read, Think and Grow Rich, whatever you need to do. If you need to sit in your prayer closet, if you need to meditate, if you need to talk to your ancestors, whatever you need to do to undo this trauma where you have to hold on to every dollar like it's the last, because it's really not a healthy way to live. Or going to the other extreme and every time you get $1 in your pocket, spending it up like there's no tomorrow because you just don't feel like money can last. Money can come to you easily. Money can last. You can be generous. You don't have to be stingy. You don't have to hoard. Please get out of that mentality because it is very bad for you.
Sometimes he has entire nations turning on him.
So Keith Lee came to the UK for a food tour. Basically, he's gonna come and see what is popular in the UK to eat. The UK were excited. We're like, finally, we're gonna have Keith Lee here. And Keith Lee is excited. He's like, God, that's amazing. I can't wait to come here, guys. So Netflix were like, yo, you coming to the UK? Hey, you might as well stop by. We making some movies. You're gonna love the hotel we're gonna put you in. Keith Lee's at hotel? Hey, listen, hey, I don't mind. So he comes to the hotel. And he's like, hey, listen, I'm a bit hungry. I'm a food critic. Let me rate this hotel's food. Now, there were many things on that hotel, but something that interested him the most was a full English breakfast. So people turned on his video and we were like, wow, Keith Lee finally in the UK and he's going to rate some of our food. Hey, man, what's he going to eat? And where's he going to eat it at? And he's like, well, guys, I'm at a hotel and I'm going to have a full English breakfast. And we're all like, yeah, Keith Lee, amazing. You're where? And you're going to have what? So he picks up a piece of bread and he puts some beans on that bread that we call toast. And the UK is like, Keith, don't do this. And then he takes a bite into that bread. And the bite lasted for a minute. And with that bite, he turned the whole UK against him. He was like, wow, this is beans on toast. I don't really like it, guys. And the UK said, go to a cafe or a pub. You cannot get a good English breakfast at a hotel. And Keith Lee's like, cool. God is amazing. I'm going to go to a cafe. And he makes his way to that cafe. And he orders a full English breakfast there. But slight problem. With a full English breakfast, they don't season it. They give you seasoning, salt, pepper, brown sauce, ketchup, and they say season it to your own liking. Because if we do it, we could overdo it or underdo it. So it's to your liking. That is something that's known in the UK. But Keith Lee's American. He comes and he picks up a pork sausage and he eats the sausage. He's like, tastes like a sausage, guys. And the UK said, what do you expect it to taste like? And Keith Lee's like, yo, guys, listen, chill. And he tries everything else. And he wasn't as fond of it as the UK would expect him to be. And Americans started mocking UK people. So then everyone turned to Keith Lee. He was like, hey guys, I'm going to go try some other places, see if I like it. And the UK was like, hey, as you're on your way, listen, mate, we don't like you anymore. Keith Lee turns around and is like, what? UK's like, yeah, we don't like you. Keep going. So Keith Lee's like, okay, that's a bit strange. And he starts going to different restaurants. But the restaurants that he's going to, they don't really represent the UK. And we were expecting maybe try some Morley's, try some fish and chips. But we didn't see that. And Keith Lee was not really liking the food as much as we would have wanted him to. So the UK's like, you are trying to make us look bad to your American audience. And Keith Lee's like, listen, guys, I just came to try some food. UK's like, nah, we don't like you anymore. But he united the UK and got everyone back on his side for one reason. These two brothers, the Spud brothers, they make amazing content on TikTok, quite popular. And they also sell some food. They're like, we can't wait for Keith Lee to come through. Keith Lee comes and the Spud brothers are like, hey, we're excited. Hey, Keith Lee. Hey, listen, Keith Lee, we got some potatoes. We got some tuna. We got some beans. And the UK's like, hey, remember how we liked Keith Lee and we don't like him anymore? Yeah, he's going to the Spud brothers now. And other people in the UK were like, wait, he's going where? They're like, yeah, he's going to eat some tuna meal. And they were like, he's going to go and eat tuna and beans with potatoes? And the Spud brothers, they're all excited. They're like, hey, Keith Lee, he about to try our special meal. And Keith Lee picks up the box and he puts his spoon in it. And the UK looking at him. And Spud brothers looking at him. And Keith Lee's like, hey, yo, hey, I don't like this. And the UK's like, hey, listen, man, hey, we didn't like that stuff either. I need tuna and beans? He was like, hey, listen, other people may like it. And most of the UK were like, others? But not us. We don't like that. The Spud brothers were like, hey, yo. Now, the UK loves Keith Lee. And he's still on his food tour, I think. And it's all on TikTok. And he's trying some food from the UK that we're kind of relating with a bit more now. But yeah, what have we learnt today? There are many different coloured people in the UK from many different backgrounds. We all unite over one thing, our full English breakfast. Watch the way you talk about it. And God is amazing. We love you, Keith Lee.
Keith Lee has me in a bit of a predicament. So I love what he does for small businesses and I love the attention he brings to places. But I feel like he's ruining everything that I've tried to do with British food. So his first video, he gives beans on toast a 1 out of 10 after he goes to a hotel and has a shite breakfast at a hotel. Then he goes to a cafe and he doesn't really like the full English, says it needs seasoning, and has salt and pepper there in front of him. So it's like if you needed more salt for it, just put a little bit more salt on it. Something I've learned about the UK is that when they cook food, they won't make it overly salty so that you can add your own amount of salt. The other thing with a full English breakfast is it requires condiments because that's part of the flavor profile that it's supposed to have. Some people do brown sauce, some people do red sauce. Then you got weirdos like me that like combining them. I'll put a little hot sauce on top. But it's meant to be combined with other things because that's the way it's made. If you watch a British person eat a full English fry-up, they will usually chop up little bits of everything on the plate and then combine that into one bite because that's the way it was meant to be eaten. The best example I can give American people is let's take a burger, for example, and separate all of the parts of a burger out on a plate. If you were to eat each one of them singularly, it would taste like shite. But when you combine them all together, it makes a delicious burger. It's the same principle with a full English breakfast. You have to combine everything together to give you that full flavor with a little brown sauce, red sauce, salt and pepper to your liking. That's the way it's meant to be eaten. If a Brit came over to the US and separated parts of a burger out and said this doesn't taste like it has any seasoning, then we would all scream because we're like, well, of course, you're supposed to eat all of that together. It's the same thing, but we just refuse to have any sort of knowledge when it comes to international food. It also makes it seem like we're not really doing much research about the stuff that we're eating and how we're supposed to eat it, because there's people that will tell you up and down the comments that you're supposed to eat it that way. I also think if you were to go and experience the pub culture of the UK, like that's what makes the UK the UK. Pub food in a pub in a local spot that it's not going to be on a list. It's not going to be a part of some, best 10 places to eat in London guide. But that's where you find the people. That's where you find the food. That's where you find the culture. And it's really good stuff.
Apart from having entire nations turning on him for kinda not liking their food, there are entire discourses on food and culture.
Keith Lee, the food reviewer, he's over here from America, and apparently in some of his comments, Americans are pissed off that he's not. They're saying like, where's the British food that you're eating? Because he's enjoying Trinidadian food and roti. He's going around all the restaurants. And
fuck off! Because he does that. He does that in America. I've seen him.
No. He has had British food though.
Yeah,
he has.
But there's all these
about that particular comment, he does that in America. He doesn't only eat like whatever He doesn't only eat soul food. And even things like even what is American food. But if you think about that, it's the influence from the Africans. That's what
and other communities
and other communities. But it is the influence from that, but because they want to separate themselves so much from that, where do you think this shit comes from?
And I think there's a misunderstanding to what they don't understand that they don't understand that we have our own version of soul food. And though we call it, we might say it's African food or Nigerian food, Ghanaian food, Caribbean food, Canadian food, and traditional dishes. We have soul food over here. Soul food isn't exclusive to Americans. We just don't call it soul food. But it's about education. If you haven't had these conversations, you're going to ask these questions.
He's also got entire restaurants rethinking their mode of operations and the kind of service they put out, all the while inspiring people to post their honest reviews of places they eat on the internet.
So I'm looking for a place to have lunch, and I see this restaurant that's got speakers out on the sidewalk, and they're playing some black 70s soul music. And I'm like, yo, that's a black restaurant. I'm going in there. But when I went to open the front door, there was this gigantic sign with huge letters that said, "Do not open this door unless expressly directed by the hostess." I felt like I was being yelled at by this sign. I kind of shut down like, I ain't trying to hear all that. And I opened the door. Someone standing right inside the door told me I had to go back outside and wait for the hostess. Now, a lot of you would have left by this point, and I should have left by this point, but something in me said, the service is kind of funky here, but the music is good. They must have good fried chicken, and I'll put up with a lot for some good fried chicken. I mean, how else could the place survive if the food wasn't banging? So I get seated, I ordered my fried chicken, and as I'm waiting, I'm looking around and there's all these signs with all these rules. Due to an unusual amount of fraud, we will not accept credit cards without identification. Due to blah blah blah, you may not stay longer than 45 minutes after the server drops your food. They had the audacity to say no returns on drinks. What in the Chitlin circuit did I stumble onto? When I go to a restaurant, I should feel welcomed. I should feel like, please come in, relax, we'll take care of everything. These guys were giving me rules upon rules, and I felt condescended to and very put off. I felt an air of distrust, as if the restaurant did not believe that black customers would know how to be in a restaurant. And all the servers, I noticed, were wearing shirts that said, t-shirts that said, good food is not fast food, and fast food is not good food. Don't judge the weight, judge by what you ate. Why are you telling me what to do? Why are you making excuses for how long it's going to take me to get the food before we've even started? The vibe from the restaurant was aggressive and defensive and demeaning, as if they expected their black customers to be scammers or lingerers or complainers. I'm sure there are some people who go into the restaurant and act badly. I'm sure the restaurateur could give me an example that justifies the rule, but assuming that all of us will behave badly because a few of us had there's no way that we as a people are so bad in restaurants that we need the restaurants to be making rules and yelling at us like we're petulant bad children. So I got my chicken. It was fine. Nothing special. I had put up with a lot because I assumed that meant that the chicken would be great because the product had to be banging to make up for this. No, I was wrong. It was fine. Whatever. When the bill came, I tipped 20% because I'm not a monster. But that became a whole thing too. There was a QR code on the bill. I used that to go to their app to pay them. That's the only thing you can do via this QR code and this app. And I get a screen that says, you're all set, with a big green check mark. I start to walk out, and the waitress put her hand on my arm to say, stop. I cannot believe that this stranger touched me. She said I had to wait until the transaction showed up on her screen. And she's still touching me. So it's like she's detaining me. Like I am physically barred from leaving until she gets confirmation that I've paid. Because so many people are coming in here trying to walk out on the check that you need to physically bar me from the door. Finally, it showed up on her screen that I had paid, and she took her hand off of me. I had been too much in shock to fully register and say, take your hand off of me. But finally, I was free to go. So I went into the black restaurant because it's a black restaurant, and then I was treated badly because I was a black customer in a black restaurant. On that day, something inside me.
I just got robbed. These Atlanta restaurants are getting out of hand. So why I go to Toast on Lennox for a regular lunch, right? Just a regular lunch. It's just me. Feel me? It's just me. Mind you, it's just me. Okay. So I got honey butter biscuits right here. You see? 6 cash. Okay. We'll take that. Chicken and waffles, 19. We could take that. All right. 2 LITs. 60 cash for 2 LITs. Since when is a Long Island iced tea 30 cash? I've never, ever got a Long Island iced tea and it be more than $17. And I get LITs everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. And you feel me? I knew I was confident in the price that I'm used to paying because I said, fuck it, let me get 2 of them. 60 cash kept my emotions to myself, but I paid it. But I don't think I will ever be drinking in this establishment. Whenever I go to Toast on Lennox, from now on, I'm just getting water, mo, because, you feel me? And even the water is like 7 cash. These Atlanta restaurants are getting out of hand. I can't do it. I can't keep up with y'all, mo.
So the real Keith Lee touched down in Atlanta, and he's been exposing what we've been talking about in Atlanta for the longest time, prompting think pieces galore about these crazy house rules and horrible customer service. But nobody is talking about the crux of the issue, which is that Black people don't think other Black people deserve good customer service. There's a reason Atlanta is unique. All over the country, Black people are running amazing businesses. And also all over the country, Black people are being incredible customers. I know people who personally never tip less than 100%. I think Keith Lee himself is a great example of this dynamic. He goes out there to bless people specifically with massive tips. The problem is when the population of Black business owners and Black customers get together. And I can prove to you empirically that that is the issue. Every city has a subset of the Atlanta experience. And what is it? Popeyes. That is typically Black people serving Black people, and it gives you a microcosm of this Atlanta experience. The Popeyes employees are so quick to get belligerent, so quick to get angry, so quick to get aggressive over you basically asking them to do their jobs. And the customers can be very out of line as well. But why are the employees so quick to jump to anger? Why did they start off on the bad foot? It's because of the population they're serving. When you ask for basic things like extra sauce, they feel like you're not entitled to those things. They don't have to be kind. They don't have to be nice. Now, the reason this stays contained is because most times we don't own the franchise. We're just working at the franchise. So there's only so belligerent, so extra the employee is going to get. But Atlanta is proof positive of what happens when that Popeyes attitude gets taken to the very top of the food chain. All of these house rules and automatic gratuities are because the owners believe the worst of the customers before they even show up. A lot of these businesses are new, so they're not based on experience, they're based on stereotypes, which is already bad and hurtful enough. The problem extends far beyond the restaurants themselves. Keith Lee has been talking about how he can't even order food on the phone, he can't order food through DoorDash, even though you're supposed to be able to use these options. And how he's been running in circles trying to get the privilege of spending his money at this business. And that's it. That's the heart of the issue. Atlanta businesses as a whole, whether they be hair businesses, restaurants, notaries, whatever, think that you are the one who should be catering to them. Every other city has it figured out. How to get your restaurant on DoorDash, how to have efficient wait times, how to deliver, how to take phone orders. But when it comes to Atlanta, it's not that there are not solutions to all these problems. It's that they don't want solutions. A lot of the other people who have stitched this whole Keith Lee situation have been talking about the finances of it. Oh, well, these restaurants are overstretched. They're trying to run things on the margins to increase their profits. They don't have enough wait staff, and that's a problem. And that might be part of it for these small mom and pop businesses. But even the big businesses in Atlanta with a name, with major backing, with all the capital you want, have the same exact problems. Riddle me this. What happened to Gladys Knight's Chicken and Waffles? To this day, that is some of the best food I've ever had. My family used to love to go there, but it was ridiculous the way that business was run. You have a celebrity with a name and a brand lended to that business, and their wait sheet was literally a yellow legal pad, was ridiculous. The first time we ever went there, apropos of nothing, people told us the wait was going to be 2 hours. So we went to the Publix across the street for a snack. We got some chicken from there. Thankfully, the wait time magically shortened and we got in after about an hour. But it was just everything. The orders were messed up. Lots of rules. Customer service, none the best. And that same laxity will leak onto the business side. You know, there was a lawsuit filed against them. They failed a health inspection and then just finally went out of business. And the same is true of many eponymous celebrity hotspots. But it's all a matter of perception. I think a lot of these Black business owners in Atlanta particularly go in with the idea that they're going to cut corners because they are serving a population that doesn't deserve the best. We really need to unpack our internalized racism on this stuff. You know, everybody's talking about how Keith Lee stayed in the car basically until he couldn't anymore. And when the people saw it was him, they were so eager to serve him where they had denied service to his family before. And that's absolutely horrible.
In case y'all been wondering whatever happened to this celebrity Keith Lee and why he's no longer showing up on your For You page, fucker went after the most predatorial industry in the world and was silenced for it. Watch this clip very carefully before it gets deleted again.
You like sushi?
I love sushi.
I saw where you ate the sushi worm.
We was in Seattle. We went to a place. It was a sushi spot.
Okay.
I did the full review, did the full video. I posted it. 2 days later, somebody tagged me in a clip of them slowing it down, and on one of the nigiris with seemed to be something moving. And I ate it. No idea there was anything moving until somebody tagged me in that video. That whole thing spiraled into something else. Somebody was hospitalized a day after we left. I came and spoke up about it because I wanted to send my heart and my support to that person.
Mind you, he got his sushi from a reputable spot. Ugh. But that still didn't matter. These doctors right here are saying that it does not matter where you get it from.
You may second guess that sashimi next time you grab it. You see that?
Yeah.
What is that? That is an enormous 16-foot tapeworm removed from a man's gut. He was a big fan of sashimi. He'd been experiencing stomach problems for quite a while. He then found this parasite 16 feet long. Took doctors about 5 days for it to finally come out.
Now I know what you're thinking. I'm just not gonna fuck with sushi or eat raw sushi. And honestly, that won't matter because here in America, all the food we eat is just straight up trash. And the worst part is that we don't even believe in detoxing or cleansing our body. Study shows that up to 60 million Americans are currently walking around with parasites. When you're always feeling tired, having random stomach issues, those sugar cravings that you're calling a sweet tooth, even those dark circles around your eyes that you think is just stress, believe me, your doctor might even say the same. And that's probably because the healthcare industry is worth $4.8 trillion, but that's a story for another day.
If I get canceled for saying this, then so be it, but I'm really disappointed. I'm sure by now everyone has seen the Keith Lee video about the Bay Area, and obviously leaving for health reasons is completely valid and extremely warranted, but to shit on the entire Bay Area, calling it Gotham City, I think that was a cheap shot.
The longer I stay on this app, the more I realize that people have a 5th grade reading level and a 5th grade listening comprehension skill problem. He didn't say anything negative in the sense of like, don't come here and eat. He said that the areas that he was in, that he visited, he didn't feel like there needed to be any tourists going through that area. And the one thing that I do pride Keith Lee on is his transparency and his honesty when it comes to the places that he eats and things like that. Y'all call this man inauthentic every chance y'all get, but the moment he says, hey man, I think this area needs more love than just the restaurants, and I don't feel comfortable influencing people to come out here and eat, and it's not constructive enough for me to, and that's the thing, bro. He's constantly learning. He's learning from his Atlanta experience. Just don't even post it. Just move on and try to find something better. He never said anything about him saying that it was Gotham City. He said some people were saying that it was Gotham City, and he did not agree, but he sees what people are saying about it. So to literally see that caption on that video and hear it come out of his mouth and you still uploaded this video, you're disingenuous. Now, the other part is that the Bay Area might be a big area. That might not be where he wanted to eat and pour into. You get what I'm saying? And that's his business. That's his business.
But what I do want to say about the review and what it was is that it doesn't matter what the review was. It does not give a crap what the review was.
Your team asked me to come multiple times. I came, I paid for my own food, I gave my own personal opinion like I said I would. But now after the review, you've stated multiple times that my opinion doesn't matter at all.
No one person's opinion can change anything for what we do. So absolutely 100,000%. I don't give a crap about anyone's review, including Keith Lee.
Yet, when I met you in person, these were your exact words.
Yo, I just want to tell you real quick, thanks for coming to the spot, man.
That's not going to sway my opinion. I'm going to still be honest.
No, I want the truth. We want the true, honest opinion.
I will be 100%
we want the
honest,
true,
no
honest opinion, regardless. But we still shine no matter what.
You want my honest opinion, yet my opinion doesn't matter. You've not only posted multiple videos on your personal account, but also on your business account, as well as a full 18-minute video. And on here, you posted a small part of what one of your employees said, but you clipped this part of what your chef said.
I was surprised. I thought he was going to give a good review. We did a really good job. Hopefully he gives us the second try later on.
Okay, we don't need his second try. We don't need him. We could take his California ass.
I wasn't here when the guy came. I don't even know who he is. If I don't know you, you're not important.
In my original video, as always, I stated it was my opinion and my opinion only. While I agree wholeheartedly that my opinion should never be the end-all be-all and people should experience it for themselves if they want to, I am not a fan of you saying on multiple occasions that my opinion doesn't matter at all, and no matter what I say, it doesn't matter, because I was asked to come and I was asked to give my opinion. The reason I don't like that narrative is because it's very tricky. If I give what's deemed a positive review, I'm praised. If I give what's deemed a negative review, my opinion doesn't matter. In my eyes, that's not fair to me. If I only give positive reviews, regardless of how I actually feel, it's going completely against my character and everything I stand for. And I'm not willing to put my integrity on the line for nothing or nobody. And even when it's something that I'm not a huge fan of, I try my best to be constructive and not be completely negative, which I wholeheartedly believe I did in this situation. I also asked on multiple occasions that people not leave hate comments or give you any kind of negative feedback without trying to fool themselves. I have no doubt that your business will continue to thrive, and people who say RIP to your restaurant because of my personal opinion, I fully disagree with and I fully denounce. I thank God in advance that you and your employees will continue to be successful, and the people who enjoy your food, as well as new people who haven't tried it yet, will continue to line up and continue to support your business. It is human nature that some people will be negative regardless of any disclaimers I give, and for that, I completely understand the frustration. And all I can do on my end is honestly and openly say I don't wish any harm or any negativity to you or your company, and I still mean that from the bottom of my heart. I will be honest in saying I really wasn't going to respond to this at all, and I was just going to let it be what it is. But there's been so many videos and so many narratives pushed without me responding, and this video that I stitched to theirs is now on Twitter with over 13 million views. I understand my platform, and I really want to avoid this being escalated, so this is my only response that I will be given to the situation, and I pray we can move on and let it be what it is. I wish nothing but success and goodwill towards you and your employees. God bless you. Have an amazing day. Y'all be safe.
Basically, it goes left. It's always smiling and posting good food. It's also calling out horrible food, horrible customer service, and extortion. And this is where it all gets interesting. A good review means booming business, while a bad review means controversy and quickly, everything goes left. Again, as mentioned, what has kept Keith Lee going despite the controversies and everything is his integrity. In a world where restaurants and other service providers could easily pay for positive reviews online, Keith Lee hasn't been swayed by the fame and the money, and the result? His audience always counts on him as trustworthy. This creator really summed it up very well.
The issue is that we've been so used to seeing people go from being viral to being famous, which rarely even ever happens nowadays, but he made it through that pipeline. People get famous, we see them lose all manner of sense, all manner of morals, all manner of values immediately. But then Keith came along and he has maintained integrity, and his integrity is holding other institutions accountable, because the thought is, if I can just get Keith Lee in my restaurant, will blow up. But then the problem with Keith is, in order for Keith's magic to work for you, you actually have to be an upstanding restaurant. You actually have to be a restaurant that treats all your customers the same, because he's never going to come in and be like, I'm Keith Lee. He has integrity, and we as a society are not used to seeing that. When people get famous, they immediately go left. And Keith has proven, which also I think is a good lesson for content creators nowadays, is that you actually don't have to lose your morals when you get famous. Like, you actually don't have to lose your sense when you get clout and when you become a household name. You can actually maintain integrity. If anything, that's how you become a household name, by maintaining integrity, by maintaining just having a standard of value. And so now people are big mad. I saw this stupid tweet yesterday that was like, Keith don't even know how to use his clout. And that's why you would never have clout, because you think that clout means I get to act a fool, I get to do whatever because I'm now a household name. Soon, if Keith Lee actually had that type of attitude about him, he would never have gone where he was, or he wouldn't have been able to sustain it. But now, because of this, anytime he's not trending, his integrity speaks well for him. So I hope that this will be a sign for all my content creator babes, that if you're ever worried about, like, how do I keep both? Because it seems to be that in our world, you can get a bag faster if you step on people's toes, or, you know, just go the shorter route and just kind of get shit done quick. Let Keith Lee be proof that if you just keep doing what you're doing and you learn how to cater to the people, cater to your audience, baby, it's only a matter of time. You're gonna pop off, and pop off well and respectably and with godliness. Shout out to Keith. He is my goat.
You gotta be a special kind of miserable to hate on somebody like Keith Lee. Let's read this tweet. Alright, so simply put, I'm glad Keith Lee is getting his bread and recognition, but there are so many actual black food journalists, food critics, and chefs/food personalities that should have been given the platforms he has now. Let's stop right there. Keith Lee was not given anything. The platform he has it because he built it. People actually like Keith Lee. People want to follow him. People want to see what's going on with Keith Lee. So that's how he got his platform. Nobody gave him anything. He does a lot of good for the community, so this isn't to knock him down, but it speaks volumes as to who media deems worthy enough to be put in those spaces. I hate these passive-aggressive type of haters. They use a bunch of fancy words, but still, you're not saying anything good. Like, you just hating. You dressed it up nice, but you're still a hater. And while TikTok is def a space to reach billions of people, and we in a different era of media and whatnot, it detracts from people who've been doing the work for a long, long time. It's just all around kind of weird, to be honest. Now that said, I do think that the fact that he brings value to many businesses that were struggling is beautiful. And he goes above and beyond to... Oh my God. And he goes above and beyond to make sure they're taken care of. And I believe people who do things from the heart and should be rewarded. How was that one sentence? I just wish media would give other people a chance. But they have a way of propositioning certain people up. I think she meant propping certain people up, which can be really dangerous in the long run. I don't know what any of that meant. But anyway, sis, nowhere in this word salad did she even name one of the more qualified black food critics. And let me just explain something to you. We like Keith Lee because we like his personality. So you go find these mystery food critics that should have his platform and tell them to get better personalities. And if they already have a nice personality, tell them to get on TikTok and do what Keith Lee does. And then maybe they'll get a TV show or something. But you just hating like this on Twitter, that's not helping nobody.
Content creator Keith Lee is currently getting a lot of hate after someone recorded a video of him in public. And in that video, people feel like he was being very entitled.
Oh my God, who that was you, bro? DDG, bro? DDG, bro? DDG, bro? DDG, bro?
So as you just saw in the clip I just showed, the person that was filming the video, who actually always makes this type of content, decided to go up to Keith Lee while filming and pretend like Keith Lee was another celebrity and tried to give him a hug. And obviously, Keith Lee was not very happy about that at all. After this video has started to go viral, so many people are just very disappointed with Keith Lee's reaction. People feel like he just cannot take a joke at all. Like I said earlier, people are saying that he is very entitled. And a lot of people also are saying the fame has gotten to Keith Lee's head. Eventually, Keith Lee and his bodyguards walked away, and honestly, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I definitely could see where Keith Lee is coming from. He was just walking when a random person, walked up to him, recording him, calling him a random celebrity's name that isn't his, was trying to give him a hug as well. I just feel like Keith Lee definitely had the right to react that way.